Hello everyone. Today I wanted to follow up on the comment that Pocket Women recently put on my Bilock 8 slider video. This is that same lock, I think. It might not be actually, hold on. Let's swap it out. I think this is the right one. And that is basically a guide to picking the Bilock, because if you're ever looking at high security Australian locks, the number one thing that you'll find is the Bilock. It's absolutely everywhere in Australia and is basically the number one lock for systems that require higher security than a basic lock like the C4QA in like a deadbolt. The Bilock is relatively inexpensive as a base, as well as having extremely easily mastered systems. For this case, this is completely unmastered, but the point still stands. It's a very good and quick solution for a relatively cheap cost here in Australia. So let's learn how to pick it. First of all, you have to think about tension, obviously. You can't pick a lock if you can't tension it. The Bilock has two choices of tension place. Either the left side up here, or the right side up here. Obviously you can't do anything at the bottom because that's where your pick's going to go. Let's say the left side here. Just a bit. It's still unlocked. Yes, the left side or the right side. And you can't do anything at the bottom of the keyway because that would very much restrict your picking space, which is already limited. So you go up the top, and I recommend a pry bar because you're going to need some precise tension control. If you're tensioning counterclockwise, always tension off of the right side. If you're tensioning clockwise, always tension off of the left side. Why is that? Because you want to put as little stress on the center of the nose plate as possible. If you break it, then it will not be tensionable and you will not be able to open the lock. Also, these faceplates are sometimes expensive. Obviously in Australia, a lot of smiths are able to have pinning kits and stuff with these extra faceplates. Globally, not so accessible. Very few people have access to faceplates that are able to be replaced on your Bilock. So if you're global, not a good idea to actually break this, and probably if you're buying them from Australia, you've paid 100 Australian dollars or more, which, if you break it, you can't pick the lock. It's a waste of your money. So, let's tension counterclockwise off of the right so that we put the least stress on the nose as possible. And let's talk about picking. Sorry, my throat's really, really dry. So when you pick a Bilock, generally, not always, generally, the tension, the side you tension towards is going to be the one that binds. So we're tensioning counterclockwise, the left side often binds first. It's not always, and Bilocks do not always isolate, but quite often they do, and it works this way. So counterclockwise left side, clockwise right side. So we'll start by finding a binder, go to the back, pin 4 is bound. Once you get a click, you'll want to then run your pick underneath it. If you put on a little more tension and you run your pick underneath it, you'll hear one of two things. Ideally, you'll hear this, and it's a sort of clicking sound. This is called the clicky test, and it happens when you run your pick in and out underneath the slider, and it tells you whether or not it is binding or not. Obviously, if it's not binding, that means that you can let it go and you go forward. So we go to slider 3. We get it set, and we try and do the test on it as well. And we get nothing. So that means we want to set it higher, lift it more, get it up, and we get that same clicking. Okay, let's go to the next binder, which was 1. Here you can hear it really clearly because it's at the front of the lock. So now we'll find our next binder. It's 2. We set it, and it gives click, and you'll have heard the sidebar activate very loudly. So we'll go back to the back. 4 clicks. 3. 3 clicks. 2 clicks. 1 no longer clicks. We'll set that higher. 1 now clicks. 2 does not click. So we'll set 2. 2 now clicks. 3. 3 is clicking. 4 clicks. So we'll go through all of them again. And once all of them click, we can be sure that they are all set. So we'll go onto the right side. 1 was bound, and now clicks. 2 clicks, so we don't need to touch it. 3 clicks after being raised. 4 clicks. So we'll go from the start again. 1 clicks. 2 clicks. 3 clicks. 4 clicks. When you have that happen, but it's not open, you'll want to check your interactive at the center here, and you'll want to lift it up, and you might get a bit of movement, you might get an open. But in this case it was just a bit of movement. 1 clicks. 2 is now binding. And still binding. Now it clicks. 3. Giving some clicks. 4. Had to be raised a bit more. Is now clicking. 1. Give me a bit, sorry. 1. Giving me some clicks. 3. No longer clicking. So we'll want to raise that carefully. Now clicks. Just check the center, make sure we didn't drop it. And again, we'll go in, start from the back. 4 is not clicking. So we'll have to be careful as we raise it. And then we get the open. Again, it's a lot of tension. If you are getting a lot of clicks from everything, when you're doing the clicky test, you might want to put a bit more tension on, and that might help you better identify what is clicking, what's not. The Bilock, by and large, when lifting, you'll want very, very minuscule tension. It's not a lock that responds well to being bullied. It's very, very subtle, and every time you set a pin, you'll want to go back to all the other pins that you had set before, because it really likes to act tapered, and some things will drop slightly out of their fins. You'll want to have that remedied, and it will just open for you very easily like it just did then. Otherwise, that's all I have for you tonight. Have a lovely rest of your day.